Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL segment, I'm going to be giving you a recap of Super Bowl 55, which pit the Kansas City Chiefs against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And in this game, it was, I'd say at least a little bit of a surprise that Tampa Bay subjugated the Kansas City Chiefs 31-9. Tampa Bay pretty much dominated from start to finish. The Chiefs jumped off to a 3-0 lead, but it was all Tampa Bay after that 3-point score for the field goal for the Chiefs. It was all Tampa Bay. I mean, this was a game. Really, what I think, really the main difference in this game was that relentless pass rush of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They put Patrick Mahomes under so much duress and pressure. It's not even funny. Uh, my invisible hat goes off to Tom Brady. He's the quintessential winner. He's just somebody that finds a way to win. It seems like in so many big games, and I understand Aaron Rodgers may be more of an individual talent than Tom Brady, but Tom Brady has the uncanny ability to go up against teams that have big time quarterbacks in big games and wins. He's just the ultimate consummate winner, I would say, at least in the NFL. And you could argue for all sports, maybe all time. I know Bill Russell won like 11 titles with the Celtics, but at least as far as football goes, this is something too. I mean, Kansas City lost the turnover battle 2-0 to the Bucs. Patrick Mahomes was picked off 2 times in this game, and it seemed like what was happening in this particular game. A lot of instances, the Chiefs would be driving, and they'd get into Bucs territory, and they would not be able to convert a fourth down. And that was really, that was one of the prominent things in this game that ultimately determined the outcome. They were held to no touchdowns in this game. Kansas City, I'm referring to Kansas City, had 3 field goals. And Tony Romo, one of the announcers of the game, he said something like, I don't remember the exact numbers, but ever since the end of the previous matchup Tampa Bay had with Kansas City this season, that Tampa Bay's outscored Kansas City something like 55-19 or something since after that. I don't know what it was, that 21-0 start. After the 21-0 start Kansas City got off to in the first game, they outscored Tampa Bay outscored Kansas City by a tremendous margin, like 55-19 or something like that, and it just is unbelievable. And Tampa Bay winning this whole season for Tampa Bay. I mean, it's got so many innumerable sub-storylines. You have Tom Brady, legendary quarterback. People talking about, speculating on his skills deteriorating. Antonio Brown coming back. Rob Gronkowski coming back, rejuvenating, reviving his career. And back to the recap of this game, though. You're talking about, I'm looking in here. I'm sorry, people gotta go scroll down this thing. I'm looking at the team stats of this game from ESPN, and the penalties, the disparity in penalties was tremendous as well. Kansas City was penalized 11 times for 120 yards in this game, and Kansas City found the red zone 3 times and could not convert a touchdown any of those times. And going to Tampa Bay was penalized only 4 times for 39 yards, again to 11 times for 120 yards for Kansas City. And the thing about this too is Tampa Bay only had 195 passing yards, but they just played, it seemed like, a smarter game, a game where they were more disciplined than Kansas City. It seemed like for Patrick Mahomes, again, it was just that relentless pass rush that he faced really was one of the main differences in terms of the outcome of this game. And Tampa Bay just looked like they had, they formulated their game plan. They had a great game plan from Bruce Arians, and this was something that was just really, special to watch if you were a Tampa Bay fan. As some of you may have seen in my previous video, I did predict Kansas City to win. Again, I say certainly underestimated the Bucs and Tom Brady. It's something that might be hard for me to do in the future now. And Tampa Bay, I think Tom Brady probably will not retire. There's some speculation in the NFL that maybe he will, because he'd like to go out a winner, but something tells me he will likely come back in this game. And this was just a game, again, that was dominated by Tampa Bay from start to finish. Leonard Fournette, the running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he seemed to be much more of a factor in this game in contrast to the previous regular season game that he played against the Kansas City Chiefs. If I remember right, he only had like 20 total yards in that regular season game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and he obviously had played much more of a role in this one. The Buccaneers had 145 rushing yards in this game, and they were able, you would say they contained the Chiefs' rushing attack, 107 yards rushing. And the thing about, and Patrick Mahomes was sacked 3 times in this game, 427 yards, and Patrick Mahomes threw 2 interceptions again. It's very uncharacteristic of him. This was a game where Tampa Bay was just simply a lot more efficient, it seemed like, than Kansas City. Looked like there were some drop passes by Travis Kelce, the tight end for the Chiefs, but there was tremendous defensive coverage on him for at least a good part of the game. I don't know his numbers for the game, but he probably had a little bit less than whatever he averaged. And if you could contain, the receivers of the Chiefs, you definitely have a very good shot to win the game. And it's not like Kansas City didn't have opportunities. They actually had more plays than the Buccaneers in this one. They had 69 total plays to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 63, but of course, obviously, Tampa Bay capitalized on their plays more than Kansas City did. And Tampa Bay also capitalized when they got in that red zone. They had at least, I don't know if they were all touchdowns, but they had 3 times in the out of 5 times in the red zone, I know they did score. So I don't know if they're, the stat I'm looking at reflects touchdowns in the red zone 3 out of 5 attempts, or is it 3 scores out of 5? It may have been 3 touchdowns in the red zone out of 5 times in the red zone for Tampa Bay, but you may want to confirm that, look that up online. But anyway, it just was unbelievable that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to do what they did. And I think a lot of it, Tom Brady, I call these retribution revenge games for Tom Brady. He's usually very good at, and the hindsight theorem, of course, is 2020. When I look back in retrospect, I'm thinking like, Edwin, how come you couldn't pick the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Why did you doubt Tom Brady? But again, it's not about the armchair quarterbacks, the analysts, the cynics out there. It's about what the team believes, what they can do on the field. Tampa Bay, of course, had very good continuity on offense, and the defense was phenomenal in this game, and it held. Now, Kansas City actually outgained Tampa Bay 350 yards to 340. But it was just those interceptions played a role that the Buccaneers got on Kansas City, and it also was the fact that Kansas City seemed to get in Tampa Bay territory numerous times, but they just couldn't do much once they got in there, and that's really what the difference of the game largely came down to. Tampa Bay made most of their attempts when they got into scoring range, and Kansas City just was not able to do anything. And I don't think there's going to be, though, for Kansas City a Super Bowl hangover in this one. I don't see them just falling apart and going like 7-9 next season. I think they're still going to have a stupendous season. They'll probably win at least 11 games at the minimum, be 11-5. And there's going to be a lot of talk of whether people think that these two teams might have a rematch next season. And the thing is, I think too, what it was that Tampa Bay also had very good protection in this game, protecting Tom Brady. The offensive line appeared to do a tremendous job for Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They seem to be better and just more efficient in most phases of this particular game. Tom Brady was 21 of 29 in pass attempts, and the average completion yards per pass was 6.5 yards for Tampa Bay compared to 4.7 for the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City sadly had to save their worst game of the season for the Super Bowl, and it happens sometimes. And Patrick Mahomes is still, he's going to come back. I'm sure he's very resilient, like most good, superstar athletes are, and I'm sure they'll have a solid season next year. Tampa Bay likely will as well. And Tampa Bay, to me, another thing that was impressive about them is the fact that they started the season 7-5, and then after the 7-5 start, they won 8 consecutive games to end the season, and it's just it's unbelievable. Tom Brady, certainly a specimen. He defies logic. His longevity is incredible, and what he's able to do at his age. I know he's not going to see. I doubt he's going to see this video. I doubt any of his close friends or relatives will see, but I do owe him an apology. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for doubting them that they could get this done. But anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube NFL recap video. And until next time, people, maybe next season, stay well.